Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are diving deep into a silent revolution. It is happening right now in the skyscrapers of our financial districts, in the sterile hallways of modern hospitals, and even in the high-stakes chaos of aerial battlefields. We often talk about the technology itself, the faster processors, the smarter algorithms, the dazzling generative capabilities of things like ChatGPT. But today, we are ignoring the specs. We are looking at something much more fundamental, something that changes the very nature of what it means to work. For the first time in human history, we are not merely using tools, we are teaming with them. Think about the evolution of our species. For thousands of years, a tool was a hammer, a wheel, or a calculator. It sat there until you picked it up. It did exactly what you made it do. But now, we are entering an era where our teammates might not have a heartbeat. We are entrusting our lives, our health, and our economies to autonomous agents. This brings us to the core subject of today's episode, the fascinating, complex, and sometimes perilous psychology of building trust with AI teammates. To understand why this is such a massive shift, we have to start with your brain. We have to look at the biology of trust. Evolutionarily speaking, trust is a survival mechanism. When you walk into a meeting and shake a colleague's hand, or look into their eyes, your body is performing an ancient chemical ritual. Your brain releases oxytocin. You have probably heard this called the trust hormone. Oxytocin quiets the amygdala, which is the fear center of your brain, and it fosters a sense of safety and bonding. It is a chemical bridge built on shared vulnerability and empathy. We trust other humans because we know they feel pain, shame, and joy just like we do. But AI has no biology. It has no oxytocin. It cannot offer you a firm handshake or a reassuring glance. Neuroscience research actually confirms that trust in humans and trust in machines are handled by completely different parts of the brain. They are dissociable processes. When you trust a human, you engage the social brain, the regions linked to theory of mind and empathy. But when you trust an AI, you engage the cognitive control networks. These are the exact same areas of the brain you use when you are looking at a rickety bridge and deciding if it is safe to cross. You do not feel trust for an AI. You calculate it. You look for consistency, reliability, and performance. This creates a massive biological gap. How can we bond with something that we process as an object? Well, the human brain is a hacking machine, and we constantly try to bridge this gap through a psychological quirk known as anthropomorphism. Humans are hardwired to find humanity in everything. We see faces in the clouds. We give names to our cars. This tendency absolutely explodes when we interact with AI. When an AI teammate speaks in a natural voice, uses I statements, or offers a polite apology, our brains cannot help but project a personality onto the code. This is the modern evolution of something called the ELIZA effect. ELIZA was a chatbot from the 1960s that mimicked a psychotherapist. It was an incredibly simple script, yet people poured their hearts out to it. They knew it was a machine, but the illusion of conversation was enough to trigger a bond. Today, that effect is supercharged. We see it in the military, where pilots give call signs to their autonomous drones. We see it in nursing homes, where patients interacting with robot companions speak to them as if they are pets or children. They forgive their errors, saying things like, "He is just tired today." This psychological projection is the glue that allows our cognitive brain to accept the machine as a partner rather than just a calculator. It transforms a cold tool into a teammate. But theories are one thing. Let us look at the real world, where this bond is being tested in life or death scenarios. We are going to look at three distinct arenas: the battlefield, the hospital, and the gaming arena. First, the battlefield. In modern aerial warfare, there is a concept called the loyal wingman. This is redefining the role of a fighter pilot. Imagine a human pilot in an advanced jet, flying alongside several autonomous drones. These drones are not being flown with a joystick. They are flying themselves. They can scout, jam radar, or strike targets. For the human pilot, the cognitive load is immense. They must trust the drones to execute complex maneuvers without crashing. This creates a trust crisis. If a drone swerves unexpectedly, does the pilot panic and take control, assuming it is a glitch? Or do they trust that the drone saw a threat that the human missed? The solution to this high-stakes dilemma is transparency. The AI cannot just act. It must communicate its intent. If the drone sends a message saying, "I am breaking formation to avoid a radar lock," trust is maintained. Silence, on the other hand, breeds suspicion. Now, let us move from the sky to the radiology lab. In hospitals, AI is becoming a standard partner, acting as a second pair of eyes. Algorithms scan X-rays and MRIs, flagging potential abnormalities for the doctor to review. However, this relationship is plagued by a phenomenon known as algorithm aversion. This is where human psychology works against us. If a human colleague makes a mistake, we often forgive them. But if an AI makes a single glaring error, like marking a collarbone as a fracture, the radiologist often loses faith entirely. They stop trusting the machine, even when it is correct later on. The success stories, however, come from institutions like Massachusetts General Hospital, where they focus on human-in-the-loop systems. The AI does not dictate, it suggests. When an AI highlights a subtle nodule that a tired doctor missed at 2 a.m., and the doctor verifies it, a bond of professional respect is formed. The AI becomes a vigilant partner that never sleeps, covering the human's blind spots. Our third case study comes from a surprising place, the world of competitive video games. OpenAI built a team of 5 neural networks, called OpenAI 5, to play the incredibly complex strategy game Dota 2. This game requires teamwork, intuition, and long-term planning. To make the bots work together, researchers had to code a hyperparameter literally called team spirit. This variable adjusted how much a bot cared about its own survival versus the team's victory. When human professionals played alongside these bots, they reported a strange sensation. They felt supported. The bots would instantly sacrifice themselves to save the human player, or offer resources without being asked. The human players described the bots not as tools, but as selfless teammates. It was a glimpse into a future where AI partners might be more chemically loyal than any human, simply because they are programmed to be. However, we have to talk about the dark side. Trust is a double-edged sword. Just as we can under-trust, which is aversion, we can also over-trust. This is called automation bias, or the sleeping at the wheel phenomenon. When an AI system performs flawlessly for 99 days, on the 100th day, the human stops checking. We see this in drivers who over-rely on autopilot features, or office workers who blindly accept a chatbot summary of a meeting without verifying the facts. This is exacerbated by the black box problem. Trust without understanding is dangerous. If we do not know why an AI made a decision, we cannot know when it is hallucinating. This is why explainable AI, or XAI, is the holy grail of psychology and tech. An AI that says, "I recommend this loan approval because of the applicant's debt-to-income ratio," is a trustworthy teammate. An AI that simply says, "approved with no reasoning," is a magical oracle that will eventually lead you off a cliff. So, how do we build a healthy relationship with these new teammates? If you are a manager, a developer, or just a user, the psychology points to 3 actionable pillars. First, you need calibrated trust. The goal is not maximum trust. The goal is accurate trust. You should trust the AI exactly as much as its performance warrants, no more, no less. This requires constant feedback loops, where the AI reports its own confidence levels, perhaps saying, "I am only 60% sure this is a cat." Second, we need vulnerability loops. In human teams, admitting mistakes builds trust. I should be designed to do the same. An AI that admits, "I am having trouble interpreting this data, can you help?" triggers a helpful, collaborative response in humans, rather than frustration. And third, we need shared mental models. The human and the I need to see the world the same way. In the military, the drone and the pilot must agree on what constitutes a threat. In business, you and your AI analyst must agree on what profit implies. Training with the AI, not just on it, aligns these mental models. Finally, let us look to the future. We are on the cusp of a new frontier called emotional AI. Systems are being developed that can detect irritation in your voice or fatigue in your typing patterns. Imagine an AI teammate that says, "You sound stressed. I will handle the data entry for the next hour. You focus on the creative strategy." This capability will deepen the bond significantly, moving us from cognitive trust, which means trusting it works, to effective trust, which means feeling that it cares. Of course, this brings us back to that biological gap. The AI does not actually care. It is simulating care. But the question remains, will it matter? If the simulation is perfect, if the support feels real, and if the team succeeds, perhaps the psychology of trust will evolve. We may find that in the cold logic of machines, we discover a new kind of warmth, a partnership that frees us to be more human, supported by a teammate that is perfectly, reliably machine. That is the future of work, and it is already beginning. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.